NASA issued an urgent warning. Pluto is not what you think. What is NASA alluding to here? Are they referring to the latest findings from the New Horizons space probe, which show that strange things are going on Pluto's surface? One of the explosive images actually shows an object that appears to be gliding across the surface of Pluto. This raises disturbing questions as to whether some kind of previously unknown life exists on this distant world, or are we dealing with a strange geological phenomenon? Pluto may be small, but the stories it has to tell are big and full of surprises. When Pluto's planetary status was revoked in 2006, scientists were unaware of the data from the New Horizons probe, which only reached Pluto 9 years later. Since then, we have known that there is far more to this little guy than was assumed. How did astronomers actually come to deny this planet, which we have all somehow grown up with the status of a real planet? It was like this: after the discovery of numerous other tiny planets in the Kuiper belt, they decided that we needed a boundary for what is a planet and what is a dwarf planet or trans-Neptunian object. Pluto scores points for its size and round shape, but the planet shares its orbit with several other objects. The orbit is therefore not considered to be adjusted, and this was precisely the reason why Pluto was no longer included in the list of large planets in the solar system. Many people on Earth think this is a shame, and this decision by astronomers caused consternation among the population worldwide. Pluto no longer a planet? Many people simply couldn't imagine. It's crazy that this small planet has so many friends on Earth, and there were letters of protest to NASA, famous scientists who spoke out in favor of the demotion, and even governments received letters from angry citizens demanding that Pluto be a planet again. This planet has been with us since the 1930s and has since been the conclusion of a series of 9 planets. As if to advert this, in 2015, when New Horizons sent us the first real image, the excluded minor planet showed us its cute face. Imagine it was the first real image of Pluto. If you've seen the planet on blackboards or in school textbooks before, they were purely artistic representations and not real images. Pluto denied even the Hubble telescope a clear view of its face. Only New Horizons was allowed to photograph the little one as it really is: colorful, friendly, amazingly lively, and with a heart. Since then, the planet on the outer edge of the solar system has won over even more friends, and perhaps astronomers will change their minds one day, and we will get Pluto back. The first real images of Pluto took everyone's breath away. It was a magical moment when the first data from the New Horizons probe arrived at mission headquarters in 2015. Everyone present knew that they were about to see a planet for the first time that everyone was somehow familiar with but had never seen up close. The computers on Earth put together this fascinating image from thousands of individual bits and pixels. What the probe revealed about Pluto was a revelation that completely turned our understanding of this distant planet on its head. Pluto is much more varied, much more structured, and much more alive than planetary researchers had previously assumed. In addition, the small planet appeared to be covered in landscape forms and possibly even weather phenomena. Nobody had expected that either. With every new bit that New Horizons transmitted, the blurry, mysterious world in the darkness of the Kuiper belt became a tangible object that showed so much life that it took scientists' breath away. More and more surprising geological wonders opened up before the researchers' eyes. Instead of the expected icy and cratered wasteland, Pluto turned out to be a dynamic place with majestic icebergs, deep canyons, and smooth glacial surfaces. It took years for the countless measurement data, photos, and findings to make the long journey from Pluto to Earth. Since 2015, we have been surprised again and again with new fascinating aspects about Pluto. Who is that walking on Pluto's surface? It's shocking. This moving image circulated in the media in 2016. But what can you see here? It looks as if a person is walking across a strange honeycomb-shaped snowdrift. You can actually see ice landscapes here, but unlike on Earth, these frozen surfaces are not made of water but of nitrogen and methane. Researchers identified the strange object as a dirty iceberg, which appears to be gliding over the surface of the ice-covered plain. The massive block of ice is most likely also made of extremely solid nitrogen. These bizarre-looking landforms revealed something very special to researchers. They now believe that there is a nitrogen reservoir several kilometers below Pluto's surface, in which the solid blocks form. Geological activity in the interior of the planet pushes these blocks upwards, creating the honeycombs and structures such as the apparently wandering mountain. This points to a warm core of the planet, and this finding alone is a sensation that could have far-reaching consequences for our understanding of Pluto. Pluto is far more active than assumed. Geological activity from heat and shifts in surface structures indicate a kind of aliveness that shows we have underestimated Pluto. This little guy not only has a heart but fire in it, and that could even mean that there are pockets of liquid inside Pluto that resemble oceans or magma chambers of ice. The head of the geology team of the New Horizons mission, William McKinnon, even compared the inner life of the dwarf planet to a lava lamp the size of Hudson Bay in Canada. Computer simulations showed that this impressive landscape developed over millions of years and is still extremely active today. Can you see the distinctive X on the right below the iceberg? This formation was probably created by sublimation. A substance changes directly from a solid to a gaseous state, and the liquid phase disappears. These processes occur due to the extreme temperatures on Pluto. Mysterious geological processes and weather phenomena in a dead world. Christmas in the snow on Pluto? Does that sound crazy to you? Well, it's a fact. Pluto really is a surprise. The New Horizons mission revealed fascinating aspects of the climate and seasonal changes on this planet. Pluto, which orbits in the cold, distant regions of the Kuiper Belt, experiences significant seasonal variations due to its eccentric orbit and tilt. The New Horizons space probe discovered that Pluto's atmosphere, a thin layer of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide, changes dramatically depending on how close or far Pluto is from the Sun. The changes affect not only the atmosphere but also the surface conditions of the dwarf planet. One particularly remarkable aspect of the climatic dynamics is snow on Pluto. This consists mainly of frozen nitrogen and methane. Unlike on Earth, where snow only forms from water, the extremely low temperatures on Pluto cause the far more volatile gases nitrogen and methane to condense and fall as exotic snow. All these processes shape and renew Pluto's surface by covering the landscape with fresh deposits. The upheavals in turn drive other geological activity in the form of glacial movement and possibly even cryovolcanic processes. The New Horizons research also showed that these seasonal cycles are closely linked to atmospheric density. When Pluto is closest to the Sun, the sparse light is enough to slightly warm up the dwarf planet's atmosphere, causing it to expand slightly and rise. When Pluto moves away from the Sun again, the atmosphere freezes and sinks back to the surface. This dynamic leads to a remarkable phenomenon. When Pluto's atmosphere condenses, it could literally snow, with snow consisting of nitrogen and methane. The variations in surface brightness and the distribution of icy deposits further suggest that almost all surface features and landscapes on Pluto are associated with these atmospheric cycles. Since Pluto's mountains are not made of rock but of ice, which is very dynamic in this world, the entire surface moves far more than that of our Earth. What is Pluto's heart made of? Who would have thought that Pluto's heart is not just a pretty trot mark? In addition to its prestigious appearance, this region is also one of the most exciting regions on the planet, officially called Sputnik Planum. The region is named after the first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1, which the Soviet Union sent into space in 1957. This large heart-shaped ice surface extends over an area of around 1,000 kilometers and consists mainly of nitrogen ice with inclusions of frozen methane and carbon monoxide. The bright, almost flawless surface of Sputnik Planum forms a stark contrast to the darker, more complex regions around it. Geologically, Sputnik Planum is a gigantic impact structure that was probably later altered by volcanic processes. Unlike typical volcanic activity on Earth, where lava emerges from the Earth's interior, cryovolcanism on Pluto involves icy materials emerging from the dwarf planet's interior to the surface. The heat sources in the depths of Pluto cause nitrogen and other volatile substances to heat up and push upwards, where they freeze and form unique formations like this one. Sputnik Planum is remarkably flat, which leads researchers to conclude that the icy surface is regularly renewed by internal processes. It's probably convection processes within the ice sheet that shape these landscapes. Researchers suspect that there may be an ocean of liquid water beneath the smooth ice sheet of Sputnik Planum, which is kept liquid by the heat inside Pluto. Researchers doubt whether forms of life can exist in the subglacial ocean, but it's not completely out of the question. What role does Sharon play? What hardly anyone knew before New Horizons' mission is that Pluto has its own moon, and not just one. Charon is Pluto's largest moon and was discovered in 1978. With a diameter of around 1,212 kilometers, Charon is so large that it forms a highly interesting double system with Pluto, because both bodies rotate around a common center of gravity outside of both bodies. As a result, Charon does not only revolve around Pluto, but Pluto also revolves around Charon. This mutual orbit is an unusual feature in our solar system and suggests that both Pluto and Charon have undergone a dramatic collision event in their early history, which resulted in the formation of this double system. The New Horizons probe provided detailed images of Charon, revealing a varied landscape dominated by canyons, craters, and a large canyon named after the explorer Argo. Named after the boat of the Argonauts in Greek mythology, the Argo chasma stretches over 1,000 kilometers in length and is up to 8 kilometers deep, making it 4 times as deep as the Grand Canyon. This impressive feature indicates significant tectonic activity in Charon's past, possibly due to its internal heat. Unlike Pluto's colorful surface, Charon's surface is dominated by darker hues, likely due to the presence of tholins, complex organic compounds formed by the irradiation of methane and nitrogen by cosmic rays. These compounds give Charon its reddish-brown coloration and create a stark contrast with Pluto's brighter icy terrain. Charon's surface also features evidence of past cryovolcanic activity, including large plains covered with water ice and ammonia hydrates. The presence of these materials suggests that Charon, like Pluto, has a complex and dynamic internal structure that influences its surface geology. In addition to Charon, Pluto has 4 other smaller moons: Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra. Styx, Nix, and Hydra were discovered before the New Horizons mission, while Kerberos was discovered using the Hubble Space Telescope in 2011. These moons are thought to have formed from the debris of a giant collision between Pluto and another Kuiper Belt object early in the history of the solar system. Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra are much smaller than Charon, ranging in size from about 10 to 80 kilometers in diameter. They orbit Pluto in irregular, elliptical paths and have diverse surface compositions and features. New Horizons provided the first close-up images of these moons, revealing their irregular shapes and cratered surfaces. The study of Pluto and its moons continues to provide new insights into the outer solar system and the formation and evolution of planetary bodies. The data collected by New Horizons has revolutionized our understanding of these distant worlds, showing them to be dynamic, geologically active, and surprisingly complex. As scientists analyze the vast amount of data returned by the New Horizons mission, they continue to uncover new mysteries and refine their understanding of Pluto and its moons. Future missions may further explore these fascinating worlds, shedding light on their origins and the broader history of our solar system. Pluto's demotion from planetary status sparked public interest and debate, but the exploration of this distant dwarf planet has shown that size alone does not determine the richness and complexity of a planetary body. Pluto and its moons are unique worlds with their own stories to tell, offering valuable clues about the formation and evolution of icy bodies in the outer reaches of our solar system. Exploration and research of Pluto and its moons are ongoing, driven by curiosity and the quest for knowledge about our cosmic neighborhood and the diverse worlds that inhabit it.